welcome back once again. So in the previous class we started a chapter from history, and the topic which we discussed last time was growth of socialist ideas, and within socialist ideas we discussed the role of M.N. Roy, Jawaharlal Nehru's inclination towards communism, and then Subhash Chandra Bose. Then we discussed about Congress Socialist, and even we discussed about the differences between the Congress Socialist and the Communists. So today we will be discussing trade union activities and the KISAN SABHA movement. Trade union activities. So when the movement was going on, Indian national movement to free themselves from the British rule, when movement was going on, there are no such a union which could give a platform to the workers to safeguard their economic interest as well as their political interest. So we'll be discussing about the history of the formation of a trade union and the movement led by the trade unions. So in this we can discuss about some of the major cities where major cities like Bombay, Calcutta, these were the main centers of textiles. Bombay, even Ahmedabad, Calcutta, these were the main important centers of textile industries were set up there, and even jute and tea industries were also there. So whenever we talk about industries, definitely we need to talk about the workers, their conditions, their working conditions, their lifestyle and all. We need to discuss about that. So here we'll be discussing. So two regions we can talk about. These two regions, mostly Bombay and Calcutta, they were the main important centers of industries were set up over there, and the most of the working population were flocked over there in Bombay as well as in Calcutta at that time. But today, you know, even they go to most of the metropolitan cities where industries are set up. Wherever industries are there, the population is shifted over. Working populations are shifted over there, which provide working forces for the industries. So during that time, Bombay and Ahmedabad were the main centers of textiles. Textile mills were there, jute industries were there, and the working populations were settled over there. Now, what was the condition of the workers during those times? Were they well paid? Were they happy with the existing situations? So definitely it is mentioned over here, the working and the living condition of these workers. Working and the living condition of these workers were very, very miserable. The condition was very, very pathetic. Their life was miserable. They worked for the industries, but they were not paid properly. They worked for 15 hours, sometimes 16 hours, and even sometimes they used to work for 18 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours, and sometimes even 18 hours they worked a day. So just imagine 18 hours of work in a day. Definitely the life becomes a hell. Even if we are asked to work for 18 hours, definitely we cannot do that. So the workers, so even after working for 18 hours, they were not paid properly. They were not given leaves. They were not given a leave. There was no security of job. Whenever, anytime, you may be thrown out of the job. Suppose, for example, if you did not go for your duty the next day, if you go, definitely you will be thrown out. Your job will be given to somebody else. So there was no leave provisions. Leaves were not given to them. Provision for the leaves were not there, and job was not at all secure. So if jobs are not secure, definitely there will be a tension in the mind of every worker that what is going to happen next. So life automatically becomes disturbed. So that was the condition of the workers during those time. So during that time, in order to safeguard the economic interest of the workers, few individuals like Sasipada Banerjee, okay, Radical Brahmo, he founded a working man's club. It was not a union. Working man's club. A club was found where the working man can go have a talk, where they can share their problems. For that, working man's club was started. and he even started to publish journals highlighting the condition of the workers. Okay, so he started publishing journals. Bharat Shramjeevi, the name of the journal was Bharat Shramjeevi, or Indian Workers. Bharat Shramjeevi, or the Indian Workers, and it was started in the year 1874. 1874, Sasipada Banerjee started to publish a journal, and the name of the journal was Bharat Shramjeevi Laborers, or in other words we can say Indian Workers. Indian Workers, Bharat Shramjeevi, or the Indian Workers. But we must understand that he did not form any trade union. It was just a working man's club. Working man's club, where in a later time people can go there, sit together and discuss their problems and all, can know each other's problems and sort out their issues in a very different way. To what extent they can do that. So for that this was formed. The next one, in Bombay, N.M. Lokhande. In Bombay, N.M. Lokhande, he started a weekly journal, and the name of the journal was Dinabandhu. Dinabandhu. The name of the journal started by N.M. Lokhande was Dinabandhu in the year 1880. In 1880, Dinabandhu. So Dinabandhu means again the friends. So definitely that was also formed in order to help the workers to share their problems and to sort out their issues. Then N.M. Lokhande also founded Bombay Mill Hands Association. Bombay Mill Hands Association in the year 1890. Okay. So in no way this association was not at all a trade union. It was just an association. First one was a working man's club, and this was just an association. In no way it was a union, trade union. In modern sense, it could not be called as a trade union. So the first trade union. Now let's start. Where was the first trade union established, founded? In Madras. The first trade union, Madras Labour Union. Madras Labour Union was founded in the year 1918 by B.P. Wadia. B.P. Wadia, he was one of the close associate of Mrs. Annie Besant. He founded the Madras Labour Union. So again, now in formal sense a union was formed. Labor union was formed. Madras Labour Union. And this man, B.P. Wadia, was he was a close associate, a very close friend of Annie Besant. And then you might have heard about the coming of Mahatma Gandhi from South Africa and joining the workers movement and all. So Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi also led a strike. He also led a strike of the workers in 1918 in Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad mill workers strike. What was that mill workers strike? Plague had broken in Ahmedabad, and to save their life, most of the workers, they started leaving the cities and towns, and the owners of those factories, they, in order to stop them, they declared plague bonus. They declared 75% of the salary will be given to the workers who stays back in those situations and work for the factories will be given plague bonus. So when time came to give the plague bonus, the owners simply denied. So the workers became frustrated, and these workers got the leadership of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, who later on came to be known as Mahatma Gandhi. So in 1980 he led the workers movement, and in 1920 Gandhiji formed a Mazur Mahajan. Mazur and Mahajan. Mazur is a worker, Mahajan is a owner. So why this Mazur Mahajan was formed? In order to maintain a peaceful relation between the workers and the owners. There should be a peaceful relation between the workers and the employers. So unless there is no peaceful relation, definitely both the parties will be unhappy. The workers will be unhappy, even the employers will be unhappy. So in order to progress, in order to prosper, in order to be in such an environment, a healthy environment, you need to be more and more peaceful between both the parties. So for that, Gandhiji started a Mazur Mahajan in order to maintain a peaceful relation between the Malik and the Naukar. Let us say Mazur and the Mahajan. Mahajan is a worker, employer. So slowly and gradually the need of the trade union was increasing day by day. The movements, strikes were going on in different parts of the country. So why there is a strike? When the workers are unhappy with their honors, then they go for a strike. Otherwise, these poor workers, they never go for a strike. If their salaries are not given on time, if they are thrown out of jobs unnecessarily, if they are not paid properly, then definitely they have only one option left to go for a strikes and all. So this was a time of strikes and lockouts. So in 1919 and 20, industrial strikes took place in other important industrial towns like Kanpur, then Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, Jamshedpur, Ahmedabad. Large number of workers participated in this strike. So large number of workers participated in this strike. It was now felt that this is the right time that we need to form a trade union at the national level. We need to form a all India trade union at the national level. So then in 1927 AITUC was formed. In 1927 AITUC, All India Trade Union Congress, was formed. Okay, Lala Lajpat Rai, you know, he was an extremist. Lala Lajpat Rai presided over the inaugural session. The first session of this trade union congress was presided over by Lala Lajpat Rai. He was an extremist, Lala Lajpat Rai. And this session was attended by nationalist leaders. Nationalist means those who love the country, those who are ready to sacrifice their life for the country. They are nationalists. Those who thinks day and night for their country. That time those leaders, they always were involved how to free their country, what can be done so that we can get rid of this British rule and all. So they were always very much busy, involved in planning how to free their country. So they were the true nationalists who gave their life for the country. So the true nationalist leaders like Motilal Nehru, C.F. Andrews, B.P. Wadia, Annie Besant, N.M. Joshi. So they were the important leaders who attended the first inaugural session of the Trade Union Congress, AITUC. Still after the formation also, there was a growth of trade union going on slowly and gradually. That means the trade unions were growing in different parts. Then again in 1929, 1930, that is a time of Great Depression. And its effect also felt on our country. Because whenever there is a Great Depression, then who are the ones who ultimately suffer? They are the working class. Suppose right now we are in such a situation where people are losing their jobs, factories are closed, there is no production, then workers definitely will lose their job. So who is the one who suffer mostly due to all these depressions and all? The workers, they suffer. So during that time also, 1929, when there was a Great Depression in America, and that American depression had affected our country also. So many of the workers, they lost their jobs. Many of the factories, they were shut down. So when the factories were shut down, then definitely the workers, they became jobless, they became unemployed, and their problems increased many folds. So apart from all this, in the meantime, you know that All India Trade Union Congress was there. So in 1929 and in 1931. So why I wrote this on the board? AITUC, All India Trade Union Congress. They split into two parts. In 1929, and in 1931. So AITUC later on, or we can say that in 1929 moderates left AITUC. The moderates wings of the Congress left AITUC and they formed Indian Trade Union Federation. Indian Trade Union Federation. ATUF. Indian Trade Union Federation. Moderates, they separated themselves from AITUC and they formed AITUF. Indian Trade Union Federation. Then again in the year 1931, Communists they left the AITUC. The Communists they left the AITUC and they formed Red Trade Union Congress. Red Trade Union Congress. So Red Trade Union Congress. So Communists they left the trade union, All India Trade Union Congress, and they formed Red Trade Union Congress. So there was a split of AITUC into two parts, AITUF and RTUC. Okay, Indian Trade Union Federation and Red Trade Union Congress. So this is the split of the Indian trade unions. So unions, why are unions formed? Unions are formed in order to protect and safeguard the interest of the workers. Protect and safeguard the interest of the workers. For that, trade unions are formed. The workers, they become a member of the trade union. Whenever they have any problem, they go to the leader of the trade union and they sort out the problems. So that is all about the trade union activities or the trade union Congress which was formed. So the topic which we are discussing is growth, important political developments, right? Important political developments. So within the important political developments, this development also is very, very important. Trade union activities. So this is all about from this topic. Now we'll be discussing about Kisan Sabha movement. So hopefully you understood what is mean by Kisan. Kisan means a peasant or a farmer. Okay, and next Sabha, assembly, movement. You all know it. So now next topic which we are going to discuss is Kisan Sabha movement. So definitely, who all suffers mostly in our country, India? You know, the 70% of our people, they are still farmers, but still they are the one who suffer a lot. Okay, Kisan Sabha. Kisan Sabha. Kisan Sabha movement. Kisan Sabha movement. So movement led by the Kisan. Movement led by the farmers. So now why there was a movement and what was the need of starting this movement? We have to go through it, my dear. Now definitely number one was excessive burden of taxation. The farmers were imposed with the excessive burden of tax. They had to pay huge taxes. The number two, fear of eviction. Burden of tax. Number one, burden of tax. Number two, fear of eviction. If they don't pay the tax, then they will be evicted from their land. They will be forced to leave their land. So fear of eviction. Fear of eviction. Then no occupancy right on land. No occupancy right on land. So definitely, if they don't pay the tax, they will be removed from the land, and if they are removed from the land, then there is no chance again to get the occupancy right over their own land. And next one we have is rising price. rise in price. Rise in price. What is the meaning of a rise in price? So that was a time when the country was going through that means the World War was going on, and during the World War, India also was dragged into the First World War. So definitely there was a price rise. There was a price rise of all the essential commodities, and due to the price rise, the condition of the workers also became worst. So condition of the workers also became worse. Price had gone high, and workers, they suffered a lot. So this is all about the things. Now let us discuss during the 1919 and 1920s movement was going on, national movement, which was known as Non-Cooperation Movement. And the Non-Cooperation Movement was a time when the leaders of the Congress thought that this is the time that we can attract the farmers to join our national movement. We will give a platform for their movement also. We'll give a platform to address their problems. So large number of peasants took place. Large number of revolts started taking place in various parts of India. And Non-Cooperation Movement of 1920 encouraged the peasants' revolt. 1920s, they encouraged the peasants' revolt against the Britishers. So the movement, national non-cooperation movement, was not the movement of few elite groups. It was also joined by the peasants. They went against the Britishers. So that gave strength to the national movement. So then some of the main centers of the peasants movement. Some of the main centers of the peasants movement were Uttar Pradesh. Then from Uttar Pradesh it is spread to Bihar. The main center of peasant movement was Uttar Pradesh, and from there it starts spreading in Bihar, Bengal, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Odisha, Malabar, Assam, and other provinces of our country. And what was the demand? The demand varied from region to region. And this peasants' demand varied from region to region. In some parts of Uttar Pradesh, the movement turned violent. This peasants' movement turned violent, and the police even fired on them, killing number of peasants. Police fired, and a number of peasants were also killed. Many of the peasant demonstrators on the spot were killed by the police in 1921. So you know that during the non-cooperation movement itself, Chauri Chaura movement took place. No, what was Chauri Chaura? I think you all know it. It was a peaceful peasants were demonstrating against the rise of price and all, and police they instigated them, fired on the unarmed mob, and the mob became violent. They locked the 22 policemen inside the police station, and police station was set on fire. So this you have already known about it. So you instigated them. The peasants, they were suffering a lot of their own problems, and on above that, the administration was very, very brutal over them. That is why they all did all this. And due to this, Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement. It was due to this Chauri Chaura incident, the non-cooperation movement was withdrawn. So this is all about the movement led by the peasants of Uttar Pradesh, spreading to different parts of the country. So this is all about the movement led by the peasants. Then again, in the other parts of the country, it was not only a simple movement. The reasons I told you varied from region to region. In Uttar Pradesh, the peasants led a movement. Against the government authorities by saying they don't want to pay taxes. No tax movement also was started in Uttar Pradesh. No tax. They were not ready to pay the taxes. Tax means any sort of revenues collected from the farmers. That is tax. So no tax campaign also was started in Uttar Pradesh. And slowly and gradually what happened? Gradually no tax campaign also spread to other provinces like Bengal, Bihar. It is spread. So it's like a fire in the jungle. If one stick of the matchbox is dropped in the jungle, slowly it will spread to and it will burn the entire forest. That's what like that. Movement started from Uttar Pradesh, spread to Bihar, then Assam, and many parts of even Bihar. It is spread to different parts of the country. So then these peasants were till then not organized properly. Wherever the movement was led, it was a leaderless movement without any organization. They led the movement. So now the time has come to organize a movement to give a platform to the peasants of the country as a whole. For that, All India KISAN SABHA movement, KISAN SABHA was formed. All India KISAN SABHA was formed in the year 1936. So All India KISAN SABHA movement, which was started, and finally what was the result of the All India KISAN SABHA movement? It was formed in the year 1936. In 1936, All India KISAN SABHA, AIKS, All India KISAN SABHA, All India KISAN SABHA was founded. So definitely a good way. And some of the important members of All India KISAN SABHA was number 1, Swami Sajjanand. Number 1, Swami Sajjanand Saraswati. Number 2, N.G. Range, Narendra Dev, Indu Lal Yagnik, and Banking Mukherjee. They were the important members of the KISAN SABHA. Now, when this KISAN SABHA was formed, All India KISAN SABHA was formed, what were the objectives? What were the objectives of the KISAN SABHA? Number 1, one by one, objectives. KISAN SABHA objective. Because whenever any organization, associations, or groups are formed, there are certain objectives. Like Congress, they had an objective. Muslim League, they had an objective. Noncooperation Movement, they also was led on the basis of objective. In the same way, KISAN SABHA, All India KISAN SABHA was formed. What were the objectives? So number one is to free the peasants from all sort of exploitation. Free from exploitation. Free from all sorts of exploitation. Free from all sorts of exploitations. That should be there. Number 2. What is number 2 objective of KISAN SABHA? Abolition of Zamindari system. Abolition of Zamindari system. Abolition of Zamindari. Zamindari system. Abolition of Zamindari system. So Zamindari system also was the biggest problem during this time. So free from all sort of exploitation. Peasants should be free from all sort of exploitation. Number 2, abolition of Zamindari system. And number 3, distribution of land to the landless. Distribution of land to the landless peasants. Number 3, distribution of land. Number 3, distribution. Distribution of land to the landless. Zoom. Distribution of land to the landless peasants. Now I am going to explain you peasants. distribution of lands to the landless peasants. So definitely peasants means they are landless. There is a difference between a farmer and a peasant. Many of the students still they don't know. Farmers, they have their own land and they work on it, or they give work to the workers to work on it. They have their own land. But the peasants, they are landless. They don't have any land of their own. They work on somebody else's land. They are known as peasants. So, distribution, the land should be distributed to the landless peasants. So that was also there. I have a large areas of land and somebody they don't even have 1 acre of land. So that is not right. That is why distribution of land to the landless peasants. And number 4, very important. Number 4. Cancellation. Number 4, cancellation of all debts. Cancellation of all debts. I think you got it. Cancellation of whoever has taken loan from money lender or zamindar, they must be, that means freed. That means they should not be forced to pay the loans. And the next one, last one, afford irrigational facilities to the peasants for improvement of agriculture. For the improvement of agriculture, they have to, that means all India KISAN SABHA, they will have to afford to facilitate the peasants by irrigation facilities to improve their agriculture. So definitely they will be asking with the government, they will be placing the demand with the government that for a better agriculture we need irrigation system in the areas. They will be working on that. So this is all about KISAN SABHA movement. So that was an important development taking place during that important movements. Now apart from all this trade union activities and growth of communalism, growth of trade union movement, the last topic which we are going to discuss here is growth of communalism. Growth of communalism, the last one. Growth of growth of communalism. So what is mean by communalism? Why there is so much of discussion on this topic, communalism? Even today at present also the same things are going on. Communal issues have been raised and division politics is been played by many of the people. So that is very, very sad for the people. But from where did all these communal things started in our country? You know that the national movement, which was led by everyone, later on was separated with the formation of Muslim League. Muslim League. In 1906, Muslim League was formed, and the objective of the Muslim League was to keep themselves far away from the Congress. Because most of the important leaders, they felt that there is no future being with the Congress. That is why they separated from the Congress. So, growth of communalism slowly and gradually. In 1906, Muslim League was formed. That's right. Congress, they started a movement on their own way. Muslim League, they started their movement in a different scale. In 1916, both the Muslim League and the Congress, they came back together. They came up with their own unanimous agenda to lead the movement. Till 1916, everything was okay. And after the Lahore session of 1929, when the Congress decided to boycott the round table conference, till that time there was no problem. So, the Government of India Act 1935. Let me come to the topic. The Government of India Act 1935, which was passed in 1928, Simon Commission came to India, they prepared the report on the working of the Government of India Act 1919 and submitted the report. And on the basis of the report, discussion was to take place in London. But Congress decided to boycott the first roundtable conference as they took a resolution in the Lahore session of 1929. So, after much hardship and difficulty, the first roundtable conference was a failure. Second roundtable conference, Gandhiji accepted to attend it, but still there was no way coming out to come up with a certain conclusion. Then they came out, that means the British government came out with the Government of India Act 1935. Government of India Act 1935. The Act of 1935. So this act brought certain changes on the basis of which the country is going to be run or governed. So elections, according to this act, 1935, election was to be held. So on the basis of this election, on the basis of this act, this Government of India Act 1935, I'll start in the next class in detail. So right now we need to know about communal factors. So Government of India Act 1935 was passed, and on the basis of Government of India Act 1935, election was to be held, and in 1937 election was held. Congress also contested, Muslim League also contested the election, but let me tell you, Muslim League failed in this election completely. The mandate of the people was in favor of the Congress. Muslim League even could not get a seats in their majority province. Wherever Muslims were in majority, there also they could not do well. The Muslim League, claiming to be the representative of the Indian Muslims, preferably, or they performed very, very badly in their own province. Wherever Muslims were there, even Muslims, they did not support the Muslim League. So from that result, after the election of 1937, it was very much clear for the Muslim League leaders that we cannot survive along with the Congress. So, in order to separate the Muslims from the Congress, they started to play a communal agenda. They started to instill communal feelings in the minds of the Muslim people that our life is in danger. That means we will be leading a secondary life in this country. We will be dominated by the Hindu Raj. We will be dominated by the Congress Raj. Congress are in majority. Their government definitely will impose Hindu Raj in the country, and our position will be in danger, and our religion will be in danger. So they started raising a cry, Islam in danger. They started raising a cry, Islam in danger. Actually, they were not fooling themselves, they were fooling the people, Muslim people. Muslim people were very, very liberal during those times. They were always in a liberal front in order to bring them back to the front of the communal line. This type of hatred was instilled in the minds of the Muslim, that our religion is in danger, Islam is in danger, and we are under threat, or we can say a threat from the impending Hindu Raj. If there will be a Hindu Raj in the country, our position will be very, very different. So definitely that time, Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the one who was very young at that time. He was becoming popular among the Muslim youths and all. So he started a agenda of separating the Muslims from the Congress and bringing them back to the Muslims, bringing them back to the Muslims front. So what to do? So what did they do? They created, that means the Muslim League created a deep hatred. They created a deep hatred, fear in the minds of the Muslims that our life will be in danger if we come under the Hindu Raj. They will dominate us. It became very, very easy to raise the demand for a separate land for the Muslim. Now we want a separate land. So in the year in the year 1940, when they held a session at Lahore, when Muslim League, they held a session at Lahore, because in 1937 election was held. After that, they understood their position in their country. They even completely failed. They completely lost the elections in the Muslim majority provinces also. So they were now left out only with one option, that we need to separate ourselves from this country. Then only we can rule our country. We can have a dominated land of the Muslims. So in 1940, at the Lahore session, Jinnah came forward with the two-nation theory. First time he came up with the two-nation theory openly. Yes, we want a separate land of the Muslims. Why it is so? He said that on what basis he is demanding the separate state for the Muslims? On what basis he is talking about the two-nation theory? So his justification was completely based on this lines. He said that Hindus and Muslims consisted of two nations. Hindu and Muslims means two nations. Hindus and Muslims are not same. He said that the Hindus and the Muslims consisted of two nations. Two nations. They're economically separate, politically different, socially different, culturally different. Hindus and Muslims are culturally different, economically different, okay, and historically different. So how can we be one? How can we be under one country? That is why he decided to start a demand for a two-nation state. So this is how the Lahore resolution was taken. Even in the Lahore session, they took a resolution. They started demanding a separate state for the Muslims. Why? Because the Hindus and the Muslims were two nations. Hindus and Muslims were two nations. That is why they wanted to have a separate state. As a result, communalism began to emerge as an organized mass force. The Muslims were completely, their mind was completely changed. They simply went on protesting everywhere, and the demand for a Muslim state continued violently. So on the other hand, this is the part of the Muslim League, what they were doing. 1935 election, they lost it. They understood that we being in the same country, our people are not supporting us. Muslim people, they did not support us. How can the other people support us? Our condition, our position in this country will be zero. We will be leading a secondary life. That is why they decided to play a game to spoil the moods and the minds of the Muslim people. Hey, Muslim people, your life will be in danger if the Hindu Raj is established in this country. So better come with us and let us demand for a separate state, a separate land for the Muslims. So this is all about Muslim League. Now, the last part. During that time, the other Hindu communalists were also there. During that time, Hindu communalists were also there. They also appealed, requested to the religions like their Muslims counterpart, other counterpart. They also requested, like Madan Mohan Malviya. Madan Mohan Malviya's place was taken by leader like V.D. Savarkar, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, and he was of a Hindu Mahasabha. Hindu Mahasabha group was there, organization was there. He belonged to a Hindu Mahasabha. M.S. Golwarkar, he belonged to Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. M.S. Mahadev Sadasiv Golwarkar. So, Golwarkar wrote a book, We. The name of the book was We. And that became the manifesto of Hindu communalism. The book We became the manifesto of Hindu communalism. And Savarkar taught about Hindutva. In his book, he discussed and he preached about Hindutva. So, they declared, through their writing, through their book, they declared that the only nation living in India, the only living nation living in India would be the Hindus. Hindus are the only nation living in India. And what about the Muslims? Excuse me. What about the Muslims? Muslims should either they should leave this country or live in this country as a second class citizen. Option was given. This nation belongs to the Hindus. India belongs to the Hindus. And Muslims, they are left out with two options according to them. Either they have to leave the country, they can leave the country, they have to leave the country, or else they can live in this country as a second class citizens. This was a Hindu communalism. This was a Hindu communalist version. This was a Hindu communalist versions of two nation theory. They said our economic is different, our politically we are different. So Hindu and Muslims are two states. That is their version, Muslim League version. And here the Hindu communist version is that yes, we are two. In India belong to this Hindu nations. That means Hindus can live in this country. India belong to the Hindu nation. And Muslims can live or they have to leave completely. But if they leave and stay back in the country, they have to lead as second class citizens. They have to live as a second class citizen. So this was a Hindu communist version of two nation theory. This Hindu Mahasabha, they were the one veterans. They condemned the National Congress. They condemned the National Congress and the congressman for supporting our most inveterate enemies. The Hindu Mahasabha, the RSS, they condemn the Congress. Why they are supporting the enemy? They said that our most inveterate enemies, they are our enemies. In this way, the political and social atmosphere became vicious, poisonous, filled with poison. And in 1940s became the most crucial and decisive phase for both the Muslims as well as the Hindus. So this is all about Hindu communalist and the Muslim communalist. The Muslims, they were very much disturbed with the mandate of 1937 election, and this Golwalkar, Savarkar, they had the different theory regarding the Indian nation or the two nation theory. So this is all about from this chapter and the growth of communalism. So growth of communalism. So from this chapter, once again recap, we discussed the growth of socialist ideas, Jawaharlal Nehru's inclination towards socialism, Subhash Chandra Bose, and then Congress Socialist, difference between Congress Socialist and the Communist, trade union activities. Today we discussed trade union activities. Hope you all have understood it. Then KISAN SABHA movement of the farmers, formation of All India KISAN SABHA in 1936, and the objectives of the KISAN SABHA to free the peasants from all sort of economic exploitation, abolition of zamindari system, distribution of land to the landless peasants, cancellation of all debts, afford irrigational facilities to the peasants for improvement of agriculture. Then we discuss about the growth of communalism. So growth of communalism, Islam in danger was a slogan started by the Muslim League. Then resolution, two nation theories resolution was taken by Muhammad Ali Jinnah and group in 1940, and from that time onward the demand for a separate state Pakistan, let us say, continued. That was one part of the communalist version played by Muslim League. On the other side, Hindu Mahasabha, B.D. Savarkar and Golwalkar of RSS, their theory of two nation was different. So all this took place during the time when India was still under British rule, and these political developments were taking place, and this turned into a separate movement led by the Congress as well as the Muslim League. So this is this much for today. So I'll be giving you the questions, and the questions will be given in the link description. You have to check the description. Just click the link given in the description, and please do it in your copies one by one. Some of the questions will be given over there. Please do check the link. And many of the students, they are least bothered to go through the videos. They don't even watch it. That is not good sign. So please, this is the time that you must be serious in your studies. So children, questions will be given. Notes later on will be prepared and will be given to you all. And in the next class, we'll be discussing about the Government of India Act 1935. The Government of India Act 1935 we'll discuss in the next class. So till then, please complete your work, and very soon I'll be giving you the assignments also. Side by side you do the assignment also. And please don't think that I'll study after the school reopens. No, please. Schools are closed, but the work is going on. Teachers are doing their work. They are teaching you from home, and it is your duty also to study and go through the tutorial videos provided by your teachers. Okay children, I hope you all understood it. So see you again, meet you in the next class. Till then, take care, bye bye.